Party people! Hello, it's Randy for Thunderhorse Descendant. I am here on, I don't know, day 39 of the Bargain Bead Box. Trying to get these last couple projects done. We got 3 projects left to make. We're going to be working with the tree. Now, I believe this is project number 5 that I said of the 7 or whatever it was I said I was going to make. I believe this is the one. This is the one that I said I was going to add a little leather to. So, let's get on down to the mat and get this little tree going. I'm excited about the tree. I really enjoyed the tree. I think it's going to be cute. So, we'll do that. But, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. I'm so happy to have you. This month's Bargain Bead Box mini-series has been a little all over the place because of family stuff, but we're getting back into the swing of it, and we're going to finish up these last 3 projects hopefully in the next couple of days. So thanks for hanging in. I would appreciate a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Let's get down to the mat, get this little tree party started. Okie dokie, here we are on the mat and get our little tree going on. So, if you've been following along and you've watched the planet video, which I can link over here, I said that I was going to add this little piece of leather. Now, I don't normally add to the Bargain Bead Box. I kind of like to work with it, just being, you know, whatever it is. But this time, I thought I needed a little leather. So, just get into these crystals. If you hear any kind of goings-ons in the background of this video, I've got Mr. Ham down here with me today, and he is putting together some stuff. More tripod business. You know how it goes. So he's got tools and such over there. Check out the little tree. The little tree is super cool. Now, when I first took this out, there was some pokey edges, so I am going to just go over this and get it ready to make sure that it's, you know, all good. I should have a silicone. Let me look in this basket. Here we go. So don't mar it up. So I'm just going to push down on all these little wires just to make sure that they are not poking out. Going to hurt nobody, and this is going to help me to not bend up or make mars on the wire. So hit all these little edges, and then we should be good to go. My only concern about this is that this is going to be laying against the skin, so we don't want it to be scratchy or pokey in any way. So I'm just kind of giving it a little push and flattening it out a little bit, but I'm not mad about that. This is something I would do with my own work anyways, had I put this all together myself. So it's not like it's an extra step or anything. It's actually less steps because I didn't have to do all that. So, wonderful. Here we go. Now, to start out, I'm just going to string these on. I am going to incorporate 2 of the Tiger's Eye. And I'm going to be using some Soft Flex medium for this little portion. And I'm not going to need too much. I'm just going to kind of bead the front. So, I'm just going to get myself, I would say about a foot. About a foot should do it. Of the Soft Flex medium. So this is what I'm going to be doing my beading on, and I am going to be using some of my own findings, and I'm just thinking, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab up 2 of these C oval copper jump rings. And I'm going to use these on the end because, like I said, I'm going to attach this to leather. So I want my jump ring to be large enough where I can put the leather through it, but also I didn't want to just do it on the cording. So we're going to use that. I'm going to need 2 okay, none of those are the right color. Come on now. There we go. I'm going to need 2 of these crimp tubes. I believe those are size 2. And a crimping plier. And we will get this party started. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to put on my crimp tube. And then I'm going to come back through the crimp tube with this little tail. I'm going to put my jump ring, excuse me, my jump ring in there. I'm just going to close him up. And this is how we will do both of the ends. And then I'll just tighten this around the jump ring. So I don't want it so tight that I can't move. So I'm going to leave a little bit of space. And then we're going to crimp. So to crimp, we got a crimp tool. We got lips and we got eyes. Lips are closest to us. Eyes are on the farthest away from us. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to come in here. We're going to make sure this wire is not twisted. We're going to give it a little kiss with the lips. Boom. Then we're going to turn the whole bit sideways. Go in with the eye. I think it's pretty good. Can do the pull test. We're looking pretty good. Now all we got to do is string on our beads. So I'm actually going to split these up so that I don't run into a problem in the end with not having enough beads to finish. So there we go. And I'm going to start stringing on the crystals. Easy. Easy peasy. So I'm going to put these on there. And then when I go to put on the barrel tiger's eye, I think I will save one crystal out. So I'll save this one, and then I'll put on the tiger's eye, and then put on the last crystal. Yeah, that looks pretty cute. So another reason for this is these tiger's eye are stone, so they're heavier. I'm going to put them down closest to the pendant so that when it hangs, it just hangs nicely. Also, this crystal is going to give me the ability to block up this quite a large bail they have on here. So let me see how it looks. It's not bad just by itself, but I am going to sneak a couple of some kind of spacer beads just in here, smaller that fit inside the bail just for funsies. I do have some extra crystals left over from the previous project, so I think I will use just, I'm going to use the red ones. I'm going to use 2 of the red ones, and that's just to fill up this space inside the bail. So put those on, put on the necklace bail, and then move on to the other side. So 1 crystal, tiger's eye, and the rest of the crystals will go on. Okay, now I do like to go through 1 little bead, at least 1, maybe 2. It just makes me feel comfortable. You do what you want. Makes me feel safe. Okay, now when we come down to this part, again, we don't want it to be so tight that it can't move. You want your beads to be able to move. Your beads have to be able to move because you're moving. We got to get gravity involved. We got to hold it up. Do the hokey pokey with it. I don't feel like it's enough. It's just not quite enough. I need a little more. Need a little more movement. This is pretty good. So once I get the movement that I want, I then move the bead back up into the middle of the space, just so it doesn't look like this loop is way bigger than the other side. And we're going in for a kiss with the lips. And spin it. And put it in the eye. I guess you just spin it, stick it in the eye. I guess that's what they said. Looks pretty good. Now we just trim the tail off. So I will not be using bead covers on this necklace. So that's why I want the crimps to look pretty nice. I did not allot for any space to have crimp covers on, number 1. So there we go. So there's this guy. Now we're going to add the leather. This is the fun part. Let me get a little wire. Oh, let's see. 20 gauge? I've got 20, I've got 22 and 24. Of course, you know, I want to go with the 22. I'm going to go with the 22. So here I just have a piece of leather. This kit actually came from the leather section at the Michael's craft store or the Hobby Lobby craft store. It comes on a roll, so that's where it came from if you need some. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to give it a cut. Right in the middle. I suppose I should tell you that I'm going to get my froggy tape. See what we're working with here. Okay, so one side is 20 inches. So each side of this is 20 inches. Now that might be a little excessive. It depends on how long you want your necklace to be. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this one side, put it into the jump ring. Now, you ask, am I concerned about this jump ring? No, I am not. Why am I not concerned? Because this is an oval C jump ring. This means that the weight of your piece is never on the split of the jump ring. It's not designed to hang that way. Whatever you put on it, one side's going to go to the top, the other side's going to go to the bottom because it's an oval. But it's I call it a C because it's a kind of like a fatter oval. It's like a cross between an oval and a circle. I call it a C. So it's large enough to fit onto the leather, and also it's going to still give you the functionality that you need for this piece to never be on the weakest part of the link. So we got two options. We can just tie this and do an overhand knot and just have ourselves a wonderful day, or we could wire wrap it. It depends on how you want to go with it. This, to me, is a little more uniform with this wrapping. The wrapping's a little more uniform. Has a pattern on the beads. So I am actually going to go with the wire wrap, if you could imagine, instead of just tying a knot, how I always like to do. So here we go. In order to do that, I'm going to get myself a little piece, about a 6-inch piece of 22 gauge wire. I'm going to zoom you on in. And I have left a little bit of a tail here. I can pull that back a little bit. And what you're going to do is you're just going to get these together how you want them. And I'm going to start wrapping a little bit in front of where I actually want the wrap to be, because I'm going to wrap this way, and then I'm also going to wrap this way. So I'm just going to start wrapping it around. And then once I got it started, then I'm going to take this little tail and I'm going to come down towards the beaded portion. Okay, once I get around here to the back, well, actually, I'm going to say the side. Once I get around here to the side, I'm going to cut. I'm going to grab my chain nose pliers. I'm going to grab a hold of this tail. I'm going to spin it up. So it is now, the wire is now facing up. And I'm going to grab it and I'm going to tuck it in between the two pieces of leather. I'm going to try. And up into the wire on the side. So I'm going to kind of nestle my plier into these coils and push so that it goes up in between the pieces of leather and into the coils of wire. Sometimes you can do this, you know, in one shot, kind of like I did right there. Sometimes it's not always that easy. Sometimes you really gotta get in there and do some work, but this one seemed to be pretty good. So I'm just making sure that's in there. Come around the front side here and flatten it out. Okay. So this is, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. Now you could go a little more if you'd like. I don't really feel the need to go too much more. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to use this piece of wire for the other side. Now with this one, instead of going up, I'm going to go down. Okay. So I'm just going to flip it over so it's going to look like I'm going up, but it's just easier for me to do this way. So I'm going to grab the tail. I'm going to twist it. And then again, stick it in between these two pieces of wire and up into the coils. You might have to give it a little wiggle and a little push. And then straighten her on out. So the reason I do that is so that it doesn't, it's neither, I try to put it inside there so it's neither on the back nor the front. So it doesn't look bad on the front, but it's also not going to poke anybody in the back. You know what I mean? So I like to try to stick it in between the coils and the leather. So you just give her a little flatten out. And there we go. So I'm going to jump off, do the other side real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so here we are. Got both sides done. And now all we have to do is finish it off. So in order to do that, I've got my 2 strands here. And I don't have anything from this month's subscription to use, but I am going to use just this large hole spacer bead from Box Past. I don't know which box. I'm 80% sure. But I'm using this large hole spacer. Any large hole bead would really work for this. This one is silver. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 ends and I am going to give them a cut. So I'm going to cut them at a very, very sharp angle because in essence I'm going to be using this as my needle to string this bead on. So I want to cut them both at a very sharp angle. Then I want to come in with my chain nose and I want to squish the ends. None of this matters because you're going to cut all this off in the end anyways. So no worries if you tear it up or anything like that. Just want to squish it as flat as I can get it. And then I'm going to come in here with my large hole bead and I'm just going to put it on. So I just got to get a hold of this one little piece on this side. Get on there. There we go. So you want this fit to be snug. So I've heard some people say like, you know, oh, I didn't want to go on there and, you know, and you shouldn't force it and whatever. But for this particular situation, this is going to act as a slider bead. So you do want it to be snug. Otherwise, when someone sets the length, it's not going to hold. So as we know, leather is a material that gives a little bit. So some of this will, you know, get a little loosened up as the wearer wears it, and we just want to make sure that this is got at least a snug fit so that it doesn't move all around. Now, in order to keep it from coming off, what we're going to do is we're just going to come down here and we're going to make sure this is even. And then you're just going to take one tail, do an overhand knot on the end. Take the other tail, do an overhand knot on that end. And then you can go ahead and trim up these that we've squished. So I'm just going to trim at an angle. I trim at an angle. I just prefer that. Trim at an angle on this one. And now when your slider bead comes all the way up, it cannot come off the end. So now at this point, you'd be able to wear this necklace long. You know, at 34 inches, really, probably. Or you would be able to slide it up and wear it as short or as long as you would like. Maybe you've got an outfit for that. Maybe you have a shirt or something and you need it to be a certain length. Now you can do that. Now up here, these I'm going to trim off at an angle as well. You do not have to. You could leave them if you prefer. I'm going to trim them at an angle. I'm going to trim them about 1/4 of an inch away from the wire wrap at an angle. And my hope is that if I do that, when they're laying flat, they're kind of going to lay in line with the other leather. So they're not going to be as noticeable. Because for this particular project, I don't really want noticeable. So there is the end result for project number 5. Project number 5. There she is. I am pretty happy with it. I, of course, will get you a few photos. I kind of want to try it on. You guys want to try it on? Let's try it on. Okay, so we're just going to give it a little try on here. So here she is, and I'm going to do the full length first. Oh, I should probably put it on the right way. Okay, so here is, whoa. Here is the full length. And then if you want to go shorter, you can just get it pretty short and get it over my head. And then if you wanted to go even shorter yet than this, once you have it on, you can come back here, pull the little bead up a little more. Make sure not to get your hair in there. And now you got her short. Pretty good. I like options. So I'm pretty happy with how that one turned out. I was happy that I added the leather. I like it when things have options. So there is the little tree. Super exciting. I really like it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this project number 5 video. And I will be back. See you in the next one. Bye.